Hi, I'm Liam Doherty, and we're coming up to a full moon in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by the twins. It's a mental sign. It's ruled by Mercury. And this is a very, very powerful one because it's at the end of what we call the new year here. We're coming towards the end. We're coming up to the Christmas period. And Gemini is about duality. Interesting enough, my sun is in Gemini. And because it's falling on my sun, and because this is a full moon, it's creating an eclipse for me. And with this eclipse energy, I'm going to be giving you transmission 8 from the mirror grid. The breaking of waves. The breaking of you. The music industry doesn't reward truth. It rewards loops. Emotional loops. Validation loops. Clickbait loops, addiction loops. And the great lie is this: if people feel stirred, moved or excited, you must be awakening them or doing something great. Because mimic works in the dark. It doesn't need to shout. It only needs to echo something deep enough to feel true and loud enough to trigger a reaction. And in a culture where reaction equals relevance, the artist becomes a dealer. A dealer of sensation, not remembrance. A dealer of emotional sugar, not sovereignty. A dealer of loops dressed as liberation. Even artists who sing about awakening never show you a way out of the dream or a destination beyond the feeling. Being stirred is not the same as being awakened. Most life-changing songs don't change anything. They just amplify the emotional loop you already live in. We've been trained to confuse emotional intensity with spiritual evolution, or to call it a banger of a song, to believe if something shakes us, it must be awakening us, or that it must be brilliant. But most of what moves the heart doesn't free the soul. It just feeds the loop with a better soundtrack. And that's how mimic sells. It looks conscious. It sounds fun. It sounds deep or just cute. It feels like truth or quirky, but it keeps you scrolling. It keeps you craving. It keeps you almost awake or sensationalized, but never free. Most artists don't even realize they're participating. They genuinely believe they're liberating others or creating from a place of personal transformation. Because people cry, people share, people say, "You changed my life." But here is the mirror grid truth. Impact is not remembrance. Emotional reaction is not awakening, and being moved is not being free. The system doesn't want remembrance because remembrance cannot be monetized. Remembrance collapses the loop. Remembrance ends the game, and endings do not sell. So the algorithm rewards mimic. It rewards emotional addiction. It rewards cycles that keep the audience coming back for another hit of meaning, addiction, and grip. And slowly, silently, truth becomes performance. Depth becomes strategy. Art becomes a product. And the artist becomes a brand. That's the point where I stopped and I asked myself, am I here to entertain the algorithm, or am I here to end the cycle? Because there's a moment on this path where the waves rise and you realise you were never meant to ride them. You were meant to break them. And here's the part no one wants to admit. Remembrance feels boring at first. Boring! Not because it lacks depth, but because it doesn't hook your nervous system. It doesn't seduce. It doesn't create emotional highs. It doesn't make you feel spiritually special. Remembrance frees you so quietly that the ego doesn't know what to do. No drama, no tension, no big emotional climax. Just clarity, just truth, just stillness. And the stillness is so alien to a world addicted to stimulation that most people mistake it for emptiness. But here is the revelation. Remembrance doesn't move you, it returns you. It doesn't shake you, it settles you. It doesn't amplify the loop, it ends it. And that's why the world doesn't reward remembrance, because remembrance unhooks you from everything the world wants you tied to. Attention, drama, emotional chaos, identity addiction, and the need to be seen. But when you step beyond all of that, you stop being consumable. And when you stop being consumable, you become free. So this is the line in the sand. Are you here to be consumed? Or are you here to reflect? Are you here to be applauded? Or are you here to be true? Are you here to ride the waves? Or are you here to break them? Because once you break the wave, once you step outside the loop, once you refuse to feed the system, you will never again confuse being seen with being awake. And you will never again confuse emotional movement with remembrance. Because through the mirror, through the truth, through the grid, only source light remains.